It's a very important session, and it's a bonus because nobody knows about this session. And I wanted, we've had people from different generations. You've had your peers, people in your age group. We've had people in different other groups. So there's been a lot of shared wisdom and counsel. But there's one generation that you're not likely to readily have access to and gain from their wisdom and all that has made it possible for them to succeed in life. So I have a mystery guest. And my mystery guest is someone that I respect a lot and someone who is like a father to me, but is someone that has a lot to share and someone I know you can learn from. And if you glean a little knowledge today from him, it will bless and impact your journey. And that's why he has been gracious enough to come and spend some time with us. It's just a Q&A session, but I'm going to tell you in advance, please, let's maximize this opportunity and access that you would not readily get every time. So if you're going to ask a question, you're going to be precise, you're going to be short, your name and the question. But you want to ask about, you saw the wisdom that came from the Adekwetuns, and you saw the wisdom of the Ogunro's journey. Time gives you value that nothing else can pay for. And that's what this session is about. So can we roll tape? I'll reveal our mystery guest when you finish watching this tape.
Born in 1943 in Ibadan, our mystery guest completed his primary education in Ijebu-Igbo and went on to Olivet Baptist High School, Oyo Town, where he excelled and graduated with an academic distinction. A fortuitous meeting with the general manager of the then Cooperative Bank saw him join the bank, still a teenager, at 17, as an accounts clerk. He subsequently rose through the ranks and completed his Associate Institute of Bankers exams, leading to his promotion to the position of manager at the age of 21. Aided by a government scholarship and further scholarships from the bank, he traveled to the United Kingdom in 1966 for his higher education at the Leeds College of Commerce. By 25, he had qualified with honors, winning several prizes as a chartered accountant from the Institute of Chartered and Corporate Accountants, UK. In 1967, he had also won the Mayor of Leeds Prize for Best Final Year Accountancy Student and third prize ACCA Final Year Accountancy. He was also the Best Final Year Student in his Chartered Institute of Secretaries London course in 1968. Ultimately, he qualified as a chartered banker, chartered accountant, and a chartered corporate secretary, and holds fellowships of all three professional institutes. He returned to the Cooperative Bank as a senior accountant and rose to the position of general manager and acting chief executive officer before retiring in 1983 to focus on his personal businesses. In 1972, he had set up his business as a major trader of commodities with an initial focus on regional trade of food products across West Africa. Subsequently, he pivoted into importing, bringing in dairy products, stockfish, glass, and steel rods, amongst other things. Throughout the 80s and 90s, he started and built various businesses across multiple sectors of the economy, including plastic production, fisheries, electrical and mechanical engineering, contracting services, amongst other investments. The companies he has built have significantly contributed to the growth of the Nigerian economy with pivotal projects, including the first GSM operator to go live in Nigeria, connection of Bayelsa State to the national grid for the first time, and execution of the largest maintenance contract by an indigenous company for operations and maintenance of NLNG's plant on Bonny Island, to name a few. Known for his prolific capital market plays, he has also sat on a number of boards of blue-chip companies and strategic national institutions, including Central Bank of Nigeria, Guinness Nigeria PLC, British American Tobacco Limited, and Ecobank Transnational Incorporated. His love for Nigeria has seen him serve in a number of public sector roles, including being an active member of the Constituent Assembly, mandated to draft a new constitution for Nigeria in 1989. In 1993, he was chairman of the National Maritime Authority and was also a council member of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. In the banking sector, he was at various times council member of the Nigerian Bankers Employers Association, the Bankers Committee, and the West African Bankers Association. Between 2013 and 2014, he was a chairman, Business Support Group, for the delivery of the National Integrated Infrastructure Master Plan for the National Planning Commission. He also served as a member, Presidential Advisory Council on Nigerian Industrial Revolution Plan. Married with 7 children, he's passionate about philanthropy and supports many notable causes through his foundation.
Okay, can I please humbly ask you to stand and let's welcome Dr. Oba Otudeko, CFR. He's actually been waiting outside for almost an hour. He's been waiting outside for almost an hour. I told him 5:45 is when we will need him. He arrived on time and he had to wait for us to finish the last session. And he said we shouldn't worry. So with the heart of a father and love for raising the next generation of Nigerians,
Thank you.
yes, please, you can sit down now. Your mics. So like I said, we're going to have Q&A. You've listened to his CV, so I don't need to tell you because there's no way I could have told you everything point by point as the intro did. But what you're allowed to do is to ask him questions about life journey that helped him. And obviously now you can see Fadeke was not too young to start dating at 17. Dr. Otudeko started working at the bank at 17. So, Shola, you're free. Okay. So can I ask those that want to ask questions to go behind the microphone in the same way? Kemi would guide you, and we would take 3 questions in each batch. He would respond, and we'll take the next 3 questions. Questions about life, things you'd like to learn from his journey that will enhance your journey.
We have one on that side.
You have one? Okay. Are you the first? Okay, let's start. Okay, you have a cue. I knew this is where the guys will get excited.
Good evening.
Yes.
My name is Waina, and my question is this. How did you, sir, manage the sequencing of the various activities that you have done all through your life? I remember in the plenary session, I told the mentor what my plans were, what my passions were. They were quite diverse, but they're all burning passions. I want to understand how you were able to logically, sequentially achieve all these things one after the other.
My name is Kola Odunlami. From your profile, sir, you are an early starter, if I would say. What would you say to people who are late starters, who probably want to do a lot of things you are doing, but they didn't get to start quite early? And my second question is this. There's this thing now about the rise of women and the fall of men, so to say. So what do you say for young guys? Really, I think that there's not some sort of lethargy on the part of guys these days. Thank you.
Third question.
My name is Oluwatoyin Bolajoko, and I can see, sir, that you diversified into a lot of industries. And we are often told that focus on the one thing you know how to do best. But what if you can do a lot of things best? How do you apply yourself to everything all at the same time.
Okay. Thank you. So he'll answer those questions, and then we'll go on to the next batch. That's fine. Okay, just in case. Over to you, sir.
First and foremost, I feel extremely privileged to be here. And I want to use the opportunity to acknowledge and appreciate Madam Chairman.
That's what he calls me, Madam Chair.
I call her Madam Chair, and indeed, this is yet another testimony to decision-making that made her to become chairman of First Bank of Nigeria. I also want to feel happy and privileged to be amongst you. The first question at that end, speaking about how I managed to achieve so much at an earlier age. I think one thing that is very clear is that there must be clarity of purpose. One should not allow himself or herself to be confused. Secondly, there must be fear of God. Thirdly, you must be self-confident and self-assured in what you want to do. And I'll say it in a very simple manner. There is no achievement in life without pain. So when they say no gain, no pain, no pain, no gain, it works. So I remember that early in life, how I got into the bank and how I found that that is the route to go to actually is a function of my circumstances. Circumstances that clearly point to the fact that I must succeed in life. It was a given. And to succeed in life, I must be qualified and do things rightfully and ensure that I am seen and every time with anybody as a problem solver. So I actually worked very, very hard. I played, but I worked a lot more than I played. That is the answer to my friend there. Now, Mr. What's his name? What did you say, Mr.? What do you want to know?
Late starter.
Oh, okay. But you don't look like a late starter yourself. But honestly, being an early starter, if you are clear about where you are going, meaning that you set a goal for yourself, then, it's not a function of being an early starter, because leaving school at 17, secondary school at 17 doesn't really show that you are an early starter. It's just what you do with yourself as you start. Early starters maybe have advantage, but I believe that anybody who has started must follow the same rules of industry, perseverance, and self-confidence. That's my answer to that. I've done so much in life. Someone has asked a question about diversification. I want to say to you very clearly, I ask you all, please, to take time to think through whatever you want to do. You need to be very focused. Being focused definitely gives you advantage. And I don't want to encourage anybody to do so much. Being over-diversified is not good. I think the best thing is to be focused, but also to have self-belief. I want to say something openly here now. When I started banking, it was clear at that time that if you had the Institute of Bankers exam and you passed, you will definitely be promoted. So I made up my mind that I will pass the exam. People used to travel abroad to sit it in 3 years. I sat it in Nigeria and I finished the exam in 3 years. It is possible, all these things are possible, but you just must be determined and you must make the sacrifices that are necessary. A major sacrifice is that the social outing, you minimize it. It's not that you won't be a social person. It's just that you mustn't spend too much time socializing. That's the answer to the 3 questions.
Next set of questions. We'll start with you.
Good evening. My name is Noella Ifedera. My question has to do with competition. How have you managed competition, especially in an environment where one person starts a business, every other person carries on? That's just my question. Thank you.
Next question.
Moji Fashola is my name. I'd like to know one decision that you would take differently if you had to do it again. And secondly, can you share with us one major lesson you've learned from your experiences or challenges in your career journey? Thank you, sir.
Next question.
My name is Bukola Olaya. My question is, how were you able to achieve being the chairman of different boards?
Okay. So we'll take those 3 questions and then we'll go to the next one.
Well, competition is actually an advantage to society. What does competition do to you? It brings out the very best out of you. And as I said to you earlier on, any aspiring entrepreneur or any entrepreneur who is committed to success definitely has started on the right way, because the reality of where we are is that we all have, everybody who is here has a right to make progress, a right to be in a position of success. And talking about competition at the level of trying to make something out of your life, I think you emphasize knowledge. You must seek knowledge, and you must not be satisfied with less than the optimum. So competition in business itself, I think it's also good for society. And for us who are practitioners, what competition does is that it brings out the best in all the practitioners. So long as you have self-confidence in yourself, so long as you have belief in what you want to do, competition will be an advantage. What will I do differently if I have to come again? I want to say to you that I will do exactly all that I have done, because I have been extremely, extremely fortunate. I took all the right steps, and I believe that the compensation I've had from it has always been very, very encouraging. Because sometimes when they read my CV, even to me, sometimes I ask myself, how did I make it? But the truth is that I made it because I was committed, and I'm still committed. I also made it because in my heart of hearts, I knew that, through industry, you can become anything. Let me share a secret with you. I am a child, or I was a child of an old man. My father had me when he was 62 years of age. So I just determined that I was going to be successful. And I was very successful that even in his lifetime, I gave him so much cause to be a happy man. What will I do differently? What will I do differently? I'll do the same thing. Exactly as I did, whatever I have done. And I also want to say that I will marry my wife because she's been a supporter all throughout. Then I think I want to encourage us to think through whatever we want to do. Don't let us just jump on the bandwagon because A is doing it, I want to do it. Let me give you this secret. You have to differentiate yourself in order to have maximum results for yourself. You have to do things differently. You have to ensure that you find a clue and a solution, which is different from the other people, in order that you can definitely secure the advantage of differentiation.
Thank you, sir. Question.
Good evening, sir. My name is Angela Degbe. My question, what I would really like to know is how you managed over time to keep yourself relevant in the face of changing government policies, changing times, changing environments, and over the years, you've been at it and you're still relevant till today. Thank you.
Very good question.
Yeah, I think there's a book that talks about the phenomenon of the rise of women and the decline of men. And of course, we have men like you, really, to look up to. I mean, if you look in this room, you will find that there are, more women these days who are pushing themselves, and men seem to, feel like everything should work for them. So what advice do you have for us young men generally, to get guys?
Okay. Third question.
My name is Olabisi Tokedada, and my question is, have you ever gotten to a point you can't see further in your vision, and how did you manage it? My second question is, how do you manage ambition to reduce a threat to other people, Thank you.
Okay, we have two questions
From the diaspora. We have a diaspora audience.
Okay. So the first question is from, and he or she asked, how were you able to build your businesses across diverse industries, and what were the challenges you had doing that? So that's the first one. How did you build businesses across diverse industries, and what were the challenges doing that? The second one is from Olakomi Anjola. It was mentioned during the reading of your profile that you had a fortuitous meeting with the manager of the bank you started out with. Sir, would you admit that you started out with a stroke of luck? If you do, can you explain or tell us how you positioned yourself for that luck so that we can also position ourselves for it? Thank you.
I think I want to start from her because her questions are very, very interesting and relevant.
On behalf of the people abroad,
Okay.
I wish they were my questions.
I hope by the time I give you the answer, they will come back and join us.
Okay.
Well, I think, yes, and I want to remind us, there is nothing that is happening to us that has not been predetermined by God Almighty. The Bible says that before we were formed in our mother's wombs, He knew us. So, the steps that I have taken, I've just managed to take those steps because I was always guided by God. Where we grew up, we prayed every morning at home, and whoever was not there would be beaten. Honestly, even though today, not here, I know in the UK, children may report their parents, to the police. Our parents really gave us strokes of the lashes and also took us also to the school to go and report whatever we must have done, which they didn't like, and ask the teacher to keep an eye on us. So, question of being fortuitous, there is luck in everything we do in life. I don't think we should take away God Almighty from whatever we are doing, which is why we should commit our ways to God. It's very important. That was why, as a matter of fact, the true story is that the man who took me as a mentee chose to take me in the presence of my father, who was an old man. My story is that on that particular day when he visited, I had finished my exam and I went home for holiday, and he came to visit my father because my father was like kind of an older friend to many of them and like a protector to them. So, and he said, what are you doing? I said, I wanted to go back to study for higher school certificate because the principal said I should come back. He said, don't you see the old man? I said, I saw the old man. He said, do you think it will be easy for him to pay your school fees, and for how long? So come and meet me in the bank tomorrow, and you start to work. And that was exactly what happened. I didn't do anything to make that occasion to happen. So that is the hand of God. So yes, don't call it luck. Just say the hands of God. And in all of us, in all our affairs, I am sure if we seek his face, our God is so faithful, he will grant us our asked desire. But even much more than that, he gives us a lot more than we can think about. So your luck is following all of you, and I'm sure you are lucky lots. Otherwise, we won't be here this evening. So the diversification and the challenges. Of course, anything you want to do, I want to encourage you to seek for the very best. You just cannot, I don't like to settle for less than the best. Another story about that was that when we were traveling in 1966 to the United Kingdom.
How many of you were not born?
Actually, in 1964, when I had passed my AIB, I wanted to stop because I was already promoted a manager. And as a manager, I would have a car. If I had a car, then I would be enjoying life. That was my disposition at that time. But I went to my mentor and told him that I haven't passed AIB now. I want you to please promote me like all the others, because actually AIB was such an important diploma position. My mentor, was the second qualified AIB in Nigeria. I happened to be the 5th qualified AIB in the whole of Nigeria. So I told him that I needed promotion, and he told me no, I was too young, that he would not promote me. But when I was promoted, I thought that was good enough. He said, no, where you are promoted to is not where you should be. I have promoted you to this lower position because I have a future for you to become chief accountant of the bank, and you must be a chartered accountant. I didn't like it. I didn't talk to him for about 6 months. I did not just like it at all, because I thought he was cheating me, because I had what it took to become, an accountant. An accountant and a manager, they are the same level. After the 6th month, and I went to him, he said he knew that I was rebelling against him, but he knew that after my rebellion, I will still come back to him. So when I went back to him, he said, I want you to study for ACCA. That if you add intermediate ACCA, we will give you scholarship. I got convinced after 9 months. Then I started with the tuition, and I just attempted it, and I passed all the inter-ACCA. And then he said, I know you could do it. Now hold me to my promise. So when we got to the UK, whoever knows about ACCA, and I think it will still be the same, I don't know. But in our time, to pass the exam, they won't say you pass the exam, they say you satisfy the examiners. So which means that you are within a cut-up position. So when I got to the UK, of course, I recall that I've gotten the scholarship of the bank. I got the scholarship of the bank. I got the scholarship of Western Region, and my salary was to be paid. But when I got there, ACCA was very difficult, extremely difficult. So I got a letter from a cousin of mine when I complained to him, and he told me that if by the time you know that you have a problem, you are at least 51% into the solution of the problem. The other 49% is industry, discipline, and hard work. And that is what I used. And that was what actually made me to break through. And a lot of hard work, little play, and I think I made it.
The thing didn't show completely, but he didn't just make it. It was one of the topmost ACCA results in the world for the time that he took the exam.
Thank you for...
Just putting the facts down.
The truth is that in 1967, I got the Mayor of Leeds Prize for the best accountancy student in 1967. And by 1968, I got 3rd place in the final of ACCA Worldwide. So I think there was luck in it, but I think there was a lot of work. Because my friends who did not pass their exams actually had much more better social interaction than I had. So discipline is very important. Otherwise, without discipline, I don't think luck will come. Ambition is legitimate, because without ambition, we cannot be anywhere, which is the reason why today is a Sunday, and all of you who are here, I think you have subscribed to success. You've made a conscious choice of being in the right place to cross-pollinate one another and choose to be where you want to be. Please, I want to encourage you. Ambition is really an ingredient that you need in order that you will arrive at your destination. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I think I'll take the last set of 3 questions. There's one here. Anyone there? Okay.
My name is Sammy Joe. I run a video production company. It's obvious, sir, that you've been able to build sustainable businesses that have lasted, for a very long time. And that's something I hardly see around me. So I personally want to run a sustainable multimedia company, and, that is well-structured and institutionalized. So I'd like to ask, sir, how were you able to build structures into your business? At what point did you think it was important to start putting these things in place, that eventually led to what you have today? Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Bukumi. Okay, I would go into family. I know that most times, if it was a woman that was here, would have asked for work-life balance and all of that. As a father, how have you been able to balance being a father, a good father to your children, and running all these businesses, all of these businesses? Do you have any regrets? Did you have time for your family? Were you able to be, were you involved in their growth and their processes, or you had to make sacrifices between your business and your family at some point? Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Oh, you have two people here. Okay, we'll take all the questions. Go on, and then we'll take all the questions you want.
My name is Damilola Irewole. The different fields that you diversified into, did you set out from the beginning to diversify into them, or you take them on along the way as you progressed in your career? Thank you.
Okay. There's one question that was unanswered from the last batch, which was around how you've been able to run successful businesses regardless of the government policies that have been in place. There have been policies that have been reversed and put back in place. How have you been able to maintain successful businesses through that?
Okay.
Last
question.
My name is David Okon. My question has to do with, still on that government policy. How have you been able to manage? I know you've played in the energy sector and then in the commodity sector. Currently, some of the policies support made in Nigeria. How do you manage when you're in an industry where there's support for made in Nigeria and there's this policy against or restrictions on foreign products, for instance? How do you, when you're already in the industry, how do you manage that transition, or do you have to move between here and there? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
I think you are right about sustainability. You can clearly, for businesses to last on a sustainable basis, they must be continuously relevant, particularly to the market and also with respect to the operational mode. Operational mode in the sense that there must be rules, there must be institutions, and rules must encourage a commitment to standard that are global standard, which is the reason why you need continuously to re-examine yourself, your business, and your strategy in order that you can continue to be relevant. When you are relevant, your sustainability is assured. To be relevant and continuously relevant for a long period of time, it's good for you to know that you will be always making reviews and making sure that you keep in consonance with the requirement of your market, your customers, very important, your institutions, which are your operatives, and finally, you will also yourself be accountable through being self-disciplined in the manner in which you run your enterprises. Take note that your staff, starting with the directors you have and your staff, they are interested in your success. So creativity and innovation, very, very important in order that you continue to be relevant for a long time. Women, to be, Beijing was when it started. But the truth about it is that practically, I have 7 children. 5 of them are girls. So I have to make sure that I am very, very supportive of the women fold. So it's new, actually, because don't forget the transmutation of our culture. In our cultural setting, women didn't use to be, reckoned with as such. But I think you know yourself, if we can vote for a woman to be chairman of the bank, I mean, how much more can we do to express our commitment to womanhood? It's not only in Nigeria, it's a global phenomenon now. Women, as a matter of fact, have been really, really good. I think they are relatively easier to bring up as children. And what we see is that employers of labor will employ whoever will give the maximum value for money. And that is what I do. If you are a woman, the chances are that you have an advantage with me, because I think the boys need to be disciplined. They need to be shown that the women can do it. When we were younger, we used to say, what a man can do, a woman cannot do it. I want to assure you that today, what a man can do, a woman can do it better. That is the reality of where we are in today. So, United Nations, global activities clearly are working towards further encouraging ladies to take their place. There is nothing whatsoever that, I know about that makes womanhood less productive. As a matter of fact, womanhood is much more productive than the menfold. And since I'm a man, I'm saying it, and I hold responsibility for it. Now, diversification and opportunity in diversification. I've spoken about it, and I want to believe that over-diversification itself can overstretch you. As a matter of fact, if you want to take anything out of here, please take it that you must be focused so that you remain relevant and you go for the very best. Government policies and continuous relevance. I think it's wisdom. Wisdom to work with government. Wisdom in the sense that a friend of mine will say, after God is government. And that is the truth. Government, if you are on the right side of government and with government, the likelihood of your business success being guaranteed is very, very high. And don't forget that government is actually, we are government. All of us here are government. And whatever government policies are in place, those policies are made to improve the welfare and development of society. So the wise entrepreneur stays very close to government. And I want to encourage you to be close to government. You don't need to be partisan, but you need to work with government in order that government policies are friendly to your own business too. So don't be partisan politically, but I think it is good for you to also have friends in politics in order that you can be there when the policies are being formulated, in order that your ideas can be part of what eventually become the policies, in order that at the end of the day, you are not a stranger in your own fatherland. Finally, I believe that I can see bright glimmers on your respective faces. At my age, what we care about, what we are concerned very much about is succession. But personally here, I can see that we're doing the right thing. And starting from Madam Chair, you can see that we have succession. When she starts to speak now, her English will be different from my own. That is succession. Succession is about ensuring that we encourage you and all of you to have self-belief, to step into position, and I have no doubt whatsoever that you will do it because you have less distraction than the men. Thank you very much.
Let's put our hands together as we thank Dr. Oba Otudeko, CFR, for his time and for sharing from his wealth of wisdom. It's very difficult to move people in their generation to sit at this time to share thoughts. But if we want to progress for the long term, we must develop the habit of gleaning knowledge from every generation ahead of us at different levels. And we must then find the application of that knowledge within our own context and our own time and season. You must find how you're involved in the process. It talked about focus, it talked about discipline, and it talked about not over-diversifying. Because you guys talk a lot about multiple streams of income. And you talk about how you shouldn't focus on one thing or the other. His diversification of the multiple industries that he's involved in were not all on the same day. Remember, over time and generations of businesses, you see different opportunities. Succeeding in one effectively positions you to take up another opportunity, and everything can come together for you because you have proven yourself in one area. The more you have a clear track record, the easier it becomes to move into other things. That is why over the course of a lifetime, you can be invested in multiple areas within the economy. But you're not necessarily driving every segment of that economy. Remember what I said, you can be invested in multiple areas of the economy. So if you take a few of those lessons and you combine with whatever else you've heard here today, then I know for sure you're set up for the long haul. We want to thank you very much, sir, for your time and for giving us the privilege to glean from your knowledge. You know, I'm the chairman of First Bank, but First Bank is owned by FBN Holdings Group. And Dr. Oba Otudeko is the group chairman of FBN. So he's my boss. Eshe, sir.
Thank you very much for taking me in here. I want to assure you that I'm leaving here.
Move your microphone.
I want to assure you that I'm leaving here fully satisfied that those concerns that people of my age have actually have been taken care of by your full commitment to the fact that Nigeria belongs to us.
Yeah.
And we are going to make Nigeria habitable for all of us,
Yes.
in a manner in which it provides for us, in a manner in which we are all blessed and are actually, making our own to ensure that Nigeria becomes the major hub of first-class development. That is what our country will be. I don't think we can do it if we leave Nigeria. It is better to have the diaspora coming in, like the lady who asked the question. Let's not abandon our country, because we are the people who will build this country. The truth is that those countries where you are going to have been built by citizens of that country in years past. And that is what I want to encourage us to do. People have been coming to me from many of my companies, young people like your age. I'm going to Australia.
Microphone.
I'm going to this.
Microphone.
I'm going to Australia. I'm going to Canada. I'm relocating to ABX. You will come back. We will be here. You will have taken the steps along. Possibly, we probably will have sat on the opportunities that we would have shared together. Please don't go. This is the place for us. Thank you.
Oya team, come. All the members of the team. Volunteers, Oya. Well, tent is small. My entire team. Please have a seat while we take a quick picture. Okay, quickly, we need to go because we still need to finish. Okay. Quick. Yes, you can stand on the front line. Oh yeah, Fotonimi, oh yeah, quick. You'll all get a copy of the professional one, so don't worry about it. Thank you. All right, sir. Shisa. Okay, Kemi, you guys. Yeah. Yeah, see him off. Okay, guys, so that the rest of you don't think we've abandoned you. Rightfully, I should see him off, but he has permitted me to continue so that we can finish. Put your hands together one more time.